morning, guys. So this is all of the stuff that I crocheted over the last week. I have a good amount of stuff actually. I have 17 chickens, 15 frogs, and 9 pickles. So I tallied up everything and this is the total for this week that I've made. I might give you guys like a specific breakdown because I did write down in my notebook the like specific for the turtles and the cats, for example. I added up everything to get the total of what I have so far. But for right now, all I'm gonna do is put the eyes and the blush and stuff onto these. I think the only thing that needs blush is the pickles, which is fine because I don't remember if the other day I got pink from Michael's when I went to the store. I ended up finding some eyes that I had stashed away. I don't know where these are from. So yeah, I found some of these. These had to be from a long time ago because I don't remember doing this. So I'm gonna try to use up these eyes first. Okay, so pretty much everything now has eyes on it and faces. So here we have these. So I have the brown chickens. I found that these sell the best. And I also used up the rest of this floral yarn to make like 5 of these floral chickens, like 3 of these I think, and they're actually so cute and they're so soft. So I made 3 more of these. And then lastly, with this gray and white speckled yarn, I was only able to get 1 of these dark gray and white speckled chickens. Next, of course, we have the pickles and the frogs. So like I said, I used up all of the lime green that I had. I have like 3 different types of greens in here. Then I have the middle one, which I think is Key Lime by Parfait. I really like the texture of this one. It's kind of like fuzzy almost. And then this one is just a random lime green yarn that I got off of Amazon a while ago. I think it's called like Marshmallow Dream or something like that. And then of course the last things that I have are these pickles that I finished up a whole skein of yarn on, and these still need blush. And I thought that while I put the blush on these, I can kind of talk about like how to get into markets, where to find markets, which markets to look for as a crocheter or as even just a crafter in general. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to find markets in your area, the best thing that I did was I just literally Googled craft vendors needed, craft fair vendors wanted, Google things like that, and then some stuff should pop up in your area. If you live in a town where there's usually things that happen, you might have to travel a little bit and go to that bigger town just to make sure that you have a better chance at selling your product. So that's pretty much how I found my first market. My first market was in October of 2022 and I was on Beale Street, and that leads into my second point. Always look at the location of your market. If you don't recognize the location, or it's not a location that people around you frequent or go to, it's probably, not always, but it's probably not going to be a market that's going to be a good turnout unless the event organizers are like super thorough with their advertising and they use the money from the vendors to put towards advertising for that area that is less known. Make sure that you're choosing markets that cater towards craft vendors. Let's say it's like a food truck event and they specifically advertise the food trucks, but they also have a little section where they have like a few vendors. I personally wouldn't do that, only because, well, actually there's a couple reasons I wouldn't gear towards an event like that, and that's just because food smells. If you're selling like t-shirts or anything that's like fabric, like toys or whatever, food smells really seep into stuff like this. Like if you have a bunch of t-shirts and tote bags and plushies, food smells can really get into something like this, and that kind of ruins it also. And also you want to make sure that people that are walking around know that there's going to be craft vendors there. That way they're not just walking around only shopping the food places because that's what they were expecting. While you're looking for your events, you want to try to go for events that are application only. Like they don't just tell you to pay your money and then you're in. And I know that some of those are good for like first timers. Like if it's your first market and you just kind of want to test the waters and it's like an indoor market and they supply everything, then that's fine. But if you're trying to actually make it like worthwhile, you want to make sure that you have an application that you sign and then they approve or disapprove you. I have never gotten denied for a market, so I don't know if they actually deny people. Honestly, there's so many people that crochet now. You kind of expect there to be other crocheters there, especially if you're just paying your money and you get in. You can expect there to be at least 2 or 3 other people that also crochet, especially if you're in a bigger area. Like I live in Memphis, and I've been to markets where there's 4 or 5 of us and we're all kind of selling similar things. That's why these days I kind of try to do in multiples. Like I made 3 different types of turtle just because I want to try to stand out, and also I try to have different packaging and different products and different marketing, non-traditional, out of the box crochet market. Just try to have different products and also look for applications. That way you can kind of ensure that you're not going to be surrounded by other crochet vendors. And then not only that, it's just really awkward to be near someone and you have like the same products, and then people go from like one booth to the next and back and forth. Like it's just really awkward. So just to bypass all of that, just ask a lot of questions. Also to your event organizers, ask like, hey, are there going to be any other crochet vendors there? Like, do you have any idea where they'll be stationed? Can you separate us a bit? Another thing that you might want to do is look for interest. Like, are people interested in going to this market in the first place? So like going onto the event organizer's Facebook page, seeing who is all interested in going to this event, or is it an event that you've heard of? I know for us in Tennessee, there's like a Delta Fair, and then there's a Mid-South Fair. I know every year that happens, and it's a huge event, so I'm going to be looking for that application earlier in the year, because usually they open up the application process for like things that happen in October in like May or June. So you want to be looking for applications for fall things earlier in the year. Another thing that you want to do is take into account the booth fee for that event. It's not a guarantee that if you do an event that's like a free table fee that you won't make any money, but from my experience, the events that I've paid like $100 for the booth fee, it's been a great event. So I don't know if that has to do with like they have more money for marketing or they have more money for a bigger venue. But every time I pay over $100 for an event, well, maybe not every time. Well, yeah, actually it's been every time for me. Every time I've paid over $100 for an event, I've made at least 4 times that amount. Take that into account. If you're doing something that's like a free event at like a brewery or something, or like a $25 fee at a brewery, and all you gotta do is bring your stuff and they give you a table, 9 times out of 10, they're just trying to get people into the store and have events going on at that store. They don't really care to have a great successful market. They're just trying to like maybe get pictures for their Instagram, or like get activity happening in the store that kind of draws people in naturally. Indoor versus outdoor markets. I know a lot of times people hate outdoor markets because of the weather, like there's so many things that can go wrong, but honestly I've had most of my success at outdoor markets. I'm definitely going to choose the outdoor market for a couple reasons, and that's mainly because more people can see you from the street. And it's easier for more people to come in, because usually there's people walking, especially if it's in like a midtown type of area or like near a college or something. There's gonna be a lot of people walking. Another thing is you get to set up your tent and have like your own like store. Like you can decorate your walls, you can hang up your sign, you can set your tables how you want to. You don't have to worry about bumping into other people. You don't have to worry about people trying to see around you. And a lot of times it's more organized when the event is outside, because there's a lot more space and people aren't like piled up on top of each other. And every time I have like an indoor market, there's people that want to see my product, but usually like there's a lot of people that are kind of surrounding the table. Just be aware of the location. Like if you don't have a tent, obviously it's going to be an issue, because you definitely need a tent if you're going to be outdoors. Do not do an outdoor market if you do not have a tent. Trust me, it is hot. Some days it's raining, and it's just uncomfortable if you just have tables sitting outside with no barriers, okay? Especially if everyone else around you has a tent. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the advice that I have. Another thing is to try to just stand out. Make sure that you have your business cards, make sure that you have thank you cards, make sure that you have packaging that makes sense for your product, make sure that you're giving people an experience. Also make sure that you have help. Oh my gosh, it's so important to have help, especially if it's your first market. Like if you can have at least 2 people with you at your first market, you know, you need to have some help, because usually people are going to be asking questions, especially if you have unique products, or like especially if you have something that's literally handmade and they want to know about the process. If someone's trying to check out, it gets very hectic to talk to that person and check someone out, and 9 times out of 10 they're just going to want to leave. Another thing is to try to be different. If you're a crocheter, try to have different types of crochet things. Try not to just do a bunch of free patterns on Instagram. I know that it's really hard, but try to like go on Etsy and find new patterns. Think about things that you would want, just in case people don't get back to you from the event organization and they don't tell you like, oh, there's other crochet people. Another thing that you want to do is make sure that you have your pricing signs. Make sure that you have a clear checkout station. I'm still working on trying to get one for myself. Make sure that you have clear signs, because people don't really like to ask for the price. I've resorted to just taking everything and just writing on the little tags like the price. That way people can just pick it up to see the price and they don't have to ask. I know little kids aren't awkward about asking about the price, but sometimes adults are. Another thing that you want to do, especially if you sell things that people mainly have to pick up and touch, like plushies, t-shirts, whatever, make sure that you have hand sanitizer, hand wipes, anything there. Make sure that you have signs to tell them to like, hey, make sure your hands are free of debris. Make sure that you don't bring your drinks close. Make sure that you be safe. Don't squeeze them so hard. Whether they try or not, will touch things with dirty hands, you know, but you can at least put some safeguards there. That way people use the Germ-X. So that's pretty much all of the topics that I have to talk about when it comes to markets and selling things and making sure that you're successful. If you guys have any other questions about like small business things, like for example selling a painted tree, I can definitely do a video on that. It's a lot more than I thought that it would be to sell a painted tree, but I definitely have some tips and tricks if you guys want to know about that. Just leave a comment down below and I'll always respond. I've responded to every comment on this channel so far. Also, please be sure to subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss another video. Friday's video will be another behind the scenes studio vlog, and I also have like 4 custom orders to do, so I'll be doing those custom orders in that vlog. And there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching the 3rd Market Prep Monday video. I really appreciate it. If you guys were crocheting or drawing or making anything during this video, please leave it down below because we would love to know. Also, if you want to see more behind the scenes content or more content in general, please be sure to follow my Instagram at introvertcrossing, and also visit my site if you guys want any custom orders, because customs are back open. I never officially announced it in January, so I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know that customs are back open, and I will see you guys in Friday's video. Thank you guys so much. Bye guys.